Hey, thanks for checking out the videos. I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. Fast.
Train coming at you guys. Make some noise, Windrock. Seven years in, we're racing under this management. We can't wait to see you guys again for this one. Make some noise for the freestylers, folks.
We had a big pit space with Jack and Meredith and Becker, so it was pretty nice just being able to hang out with everybody, and in between practice laps or we were just hanging around. It was just a nice sense of community. So it was time to head up the hill and get my timing chip put on and start to race. So my sort of story to getting into this situation, I guess is the best way I know how to say it, or racing at nationals is it's kind of interesting. I really didn't want any part of this. I wasn't ready to race on a double black diamond, and I had no intentions of racing nationals this year. My kind of game plan, and it's funny because I even had about a week before talked with my buddy Michael about this, that I was going to try and run the Downhill Southeast series this year, see how I did, and then maybe next year I would also do the national events. Well, at TTC, Steven really struggled with some shoulder issues and he didn't have a great race, and so he actually decided to sit this race out after having a little slide out a few days before he would start practicing. And I had not pushed him to race. I accepted it and I felt like that was probably the best thing to do, but I had already reserved and paid for an Airbnb, his race registration, just all the preparation that goes into an event like this. So really wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I get this text from Jack, I believe it was Sunday morning, and he just kind of jokingly said, I think he said, I went and did a thing. So Jack had been injured, he had surgery, and I didn't expect to actually see him out racing probably until about mid-season. But anyways, he had registered for nationals, and you know, it got me thinking. We texted back and forth. I actually ended up giving him a call, and so I was thinking about it. I definitely knew I'd be over my head. I wasn't really sure if I was ready for it. I didn't really know if I wanted the stress, but I had to start making some decisions. So I decided ultimately that I would go up to the race. It'd be good to see Steven and Cameron. Cameron is Steven's roommate, and he would be racing, so I tried to support him as best I could. And it really wasn't until I believe Wednesday night. Actually, what had happened is I started thinking that, okay, yeah, I'll see if I could transfer Steven's registration. I didn't even know if that was possible, and there were some issues with the app. And so it wasn't actually until Wednesday, which was the cutoff, that I ended up transferring Steven's registration to me. And so my kind of take on the situation was I didn't even know if I could get down the race course. And so I would go, give it a try, see how it goes. And if I was able to, find some lines and make my way down, then I'd try to build my speed and I'd give it a go. So I learned a lot through this. One of the things that as the conditions changed throughout the weekend, it rained on Friday night, and so the track was real wet. I was running my mud tires, and then as things began to dry out, I was going back and forth between my Assegai and my DHR2. I ended up having metal brake pads in, and the mud and water just really almost made those useless. And so I was switching stuff up back and forth. And on the practice morning, I was running an Assegai and DHR2 in the rear. I just couldn't find my braking spots in some of those steep sections, so I made a last-minute decision to put my Shorty back on the rear, and unfortunately, it kind of cost me in some of these drier, pedally sections. I just wasn't able to get the speed that I wanted, and I kind of wore myself out. I did end up putting organic brake pads in, and so, I ended up getting fourth, which for me, it was a good clean run, and I have no complaints about the fact that, it really took me all of the practice sessions just to get to this place of having a clean run, and I'm glad I did it. I progressed and ready to move on to Windrock Creek. This is a fun little thing that I got. Ended up getting a cordless pressure washer to wash the bike down. So, hope you enjoyed the video. I know that the helmet cam GoPro isn't the most exciting to look at, especially with the hyper smooth, but hopefully you can get a feel for the racetrack and what it took to get through.
Over the bars, 185 going through the tank. Come on, Robert, get that bar, run to the finish line. Come on, baby! So that's this Cameron Mueller out of Union, Missouri, racing for Revolution Cycles. Come on, Windrock, let's make some noise. This guy is feeling it. C-spine and spine are clear. All right, we're going to try to stand you up. Okay, I'm not going to grab the bad shoulder, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Stand here for a second.
Cameron's going home in style. So when Cameron left for the hospital, we were pretty worried that he had broken his collarbone and he had a really sharp pain in his side. You could see where a rock had jabbed him, but they took really good care of him at UT, and he will be out for a few weeks. But luckily his collarbone actually wasn't broken, and he didn't sustain any serious injuries. Thanks Glenn and the whole crew, medical staff there at Nationals for taking such good care of Cameron.